Hi, Bright Right fans. It's always good to talk with you again. This time we're back to the woods. I guess it's a common theme with me, but it seems like the perfect way to talk about the writing life or the creative life as well as the creative process. Let's face it, at some point you're going to get stuck. It happens to the best of us. We start a draft or a new drawing and we just get stuck. We don't know where to go next. Or the idea that seemed wonderful and grand is no longer wonderful and grand. It's just a dead end, and there's nothing you can really do to salvage it except to start over. So the question becomes, what do you do when you're lost or when you're at a dead end? And the first thing is find your bearings. I talk about this in one of my new Right posters as well as in some of my blog posts. But it's really hard to do anything if you don't know where you're going. The other thing is don't panic. I know it's really easy to panic, especially when there's a deadline or you find that the people who are supposed to collaborate or maybe just even your friends are just nowhere to be found and you're by yourself and you start to panic and to feel anxious. Don't give in to those things. You're eventually going to get out of these woods. I promise. I've been in them, I've been out of them, and I've been back again. Other things to keep in mind, use your head. This is related to finding your bearings. If you use your head and think logically, you can pinpoint maybe where you took a wrong turn or where the idea just stopped flowing, and you can try to review what you've already written or drew and go forth with that flow instead of trying to continue with whatever has gotten you stuck. The other things, sometimes you do have to take a break and you have to find some shelter, and it needs to be a good place. It needs to be someplace that's going to recharge you. So maybe that does mean you hang out with your friends and you tell them, I'm struggling with whatever the project is, and just say, I need some help, and see what happens. Most of the time, people are more than willing to help you, especially when you put yourself in the position of being helped. Also, don't wander. If you're stuck and you just keep writing and writing and it's still not going anywhere, that doesn't do a whole lot of good. I mean, you could have spent the last half hour writing something that was going somewhere instead of something that just keeps repeating itself. Now, sometimes that repetition is necessary. I can't begin to tell you how many times I've rewritten the introductory paragraph for a paper or a blog post because I just needed to find my entry point into what I was trying to say. But at the same time, you have to be able to gauge when it's pointless to continue and when it's necessary to continue. Another point in what to do when you're lost in the woods is forget the map. Some people like to outline, especially their lengthier projects. I don't always outline. I guess I kind of do. I have a weird process, and it makes absolutely no sense to people who like outlines and all the little technical tools. But I have my process, and it's probably very messy to people, but it works for me. And the thing is that sometimes you have to get rid of the map, because if you don't know where you are, the map is pretty much pointless. I was having this conversation with a couple of my friends. For some reason, the person in charge of the class told us that we had been, basically that our airplane had crashed in the ocean, we had a life raft, and we had to choose what things we were going to keep on the life raft. Well, one of the things was a map of the ocean. Which ocean? I don't know, and I don't know which ocean we actually had crashed into in our, huge jumbo jet. But the point was made that if you're in some large ocean, you really don't need a map because you don't know where you crashed. So forget the map and try to take something that's going to better serve you, such as the handy little shaving mirror that you can use to get people's attention. Also remember to not quit. I think that's really important. Sometimes when you're stuck in a draft, it's really easy to just stop writing, or if you're working on art projects, it's really easy to just stop drawing because you're so frustrated. Now that may be you may need to stop. But I think sometimes a better option is to write about something else, to work on a different project. And a lot of times it turns out that working on that other project helps you find clarity with the project that is your woods right now. And then finally, just remember you won't be lost forever. You're going to get out of these woods. Unfortunately, you're going to end up in them again. So my advice for that is prepare accordingly. Until next time, right.